Welcome to the Best Me podcast. Your best tomorrow starts today. I'm your host, Ellen Livingston. I believe showing up each and every day as the best version of myself doesn't happen on accident. It takes awareness and planning. On this podcast, I talk about planning for ways to improve my health, develop a sense of purpose in everyday life, and create meaningful connections so I can be the best me I can be. And so can you. Let's get started. Hey there, besties. It's me, Ellen. Thank you guys for listening today. I really appreciate your support. And if you're telling other friends about this podcast and sharing, I appreciate that also. I'd also like to give a big shout out thank you to my friend Julie, who gave me a suggestion for a podcast idea. She sent me, it was like a meme or just a picture, really, of Robert Duvall's character from Lonesome Dove. I think that character's name was Augustus McRae. I haven't seen that movie in so long that I really can't remember much. But anyway, what this character was saying was, if you want only one thing too much, it's likely to turn out a disappointment. Now, the only healthy way to live, as I see it, is to learn to like all the little everyday things. And I love this quote, and I thank you, Julie, for sending this to me, because I truly believe it is the small things in life that can make us happy. In fact, it got me thinking about a post on Reddit that I saw a couple of months ago, and it was under the subreddit Ask Reddit. And the question was, what are the small things in life that make you happy? And one of the replies that just melted my heart was this guy said, my dog's ear. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but if you're a dog lover like me, when you're petting your dog and loving on your dog and you reach over and you're touching their ear, it's so soft and velvety and it just makes you feel good. And so I really, really related to his quote about just his dog's ear. Now, you guys know me. I'm kind of nerdy and I like to look up the science behind things. And so I decided to Google what was out there about research about appreciating the small things in life. And I found that there was a paper published in Nature Human Behavior. It was by Joshua Hicks, who is a professor at Texas A&M University, and he is in the Department of Psychological and Brain Sciences. And what I learned in the paper is that Professor Hicks's main focus of study is on the experience of life and our subjective feeling that our lives have meaning. And evidently, scholars such as Joshua Hicks generally agree that there are three major sources of subjectively meaningful existence, and they are feeling that one's life makes sense, having long-term goals that create a sense of purpose, and a belief that our actions actually matter to others. And Professor Hicks believes that there is actually a fourth area that creates a meaningful existence. And that area is appreciating the intrinsic beauty in life's everyday moments and that they can contribute to a more meaningful existence. So his study showed that there are definitely personality types that are more easily recognize intrinsic beauty, but everyone can develop an appreciation for the small things in life. And in our fast-paced world, that really means slowing down. Little things have a huge impact on our lives, and it is worth learning to acknowledge and celebrate their value to us. Because, guys, it's so easy to take for granted the small things until they're gone. Little things bring us so much joy. They connect us to other people. They help us create memories. And I can't help but think babies are really toddlers. And if you've had the joy and the pleasure of being around young children as they experience the world for the first time, they look at simple things with such joy and awe that, we need to stay that way as adults. We need to stay where we are so easily impressed and realize that there are small miracles all around us. Now, I know we can't be like children all the time or we wouldn't get anything done, but we do need to hold on to some of that joy in just living. Now, I know I've mentioned before that every night in my planner, I try to jot down 3 good things that happened to me that day because I truly believe if you look for the good in life, you see more good. And my things are very simple, like I may have seen a flower pop up that wasn't there the day before. Or it could be as small as someone smiling at me and telling me good morning that made me feel good that day. But you get the point. I try to acknowledge the small things that I noticed each day. And I'll tell you a tip for like falling asleep at night. If you're having trouble, it's probably because you're thinking about like all the stressful things that had gone on that day, or maybe you're thinking about all the stuff you have to do tomorrow and it's keeping you from falling asleep. If you will take some deep breaths and start thinking of all the good things that happened to you that day, things that you're grateful for. It can be things simple like how the sunlight looked on the trees in the morning, just anything simple. Start thinking of small things and it will relax you and you'll have an easier time going to sleep at night. And I may have mentioned this before. When I get in bed each night, I am always so grateful for having a nice, warm, safe, comfortable bed with a blanket and a pillow because, guys, there are people that don't have that. And it's the little simple things like that at night that really make me grateful. And I know you guys can probably relate to clean sheets. Don't you just love getting in bed when you have fresh, clean sheets on the bed? Also, I think most people relate to their first cup of coffee in the morning, or maybe you have a really good book, or maybe, you got a compliment from a stranger, or an unexpected call from a friend that you haven't heard from in a long time. And I know this sounds crazy, but don't you love it when you go to a restaurant and it's so nice that you can eat outside? I love eating outside. It's something small, but it brings me a lot of joy. And I have vivid memories as a child on cold winter days walking in the house, and my mother had been cooking potato soup and cornbread, and the whole house smelled like that. And it was just such a feeling of being home, and it brought so much joy to me. And I know, like getting outside right now, it's so beautiful because it's spring, and that makes a lot of sense to enjoy being outside. But guys, even on like cold, windy days, you can think about snuggling under a blanket and how good that feels. Because cold weather makes me want to like make warm soup and start a fire. And so it just gives us gratitude for having those kinds of things, even on bad weather days. When we make the effort to appreciate the small things in life, it reminds us that life isn't always stressful and exhausting. And it enhances our positive emotions and develops a sense of gratitude, which creates this upward spiral of happiness, and it just makes life better. There's a quote by Rose Kennedy that says, "Life isn't a matter of milestones, but of moments." So take a moment out of your busy day and acknowledge and celebrate the small things that bring happiness to your life. That's all I have for today, besties. Be kind, be positive, and be your best. And remember, small progress is still progress. Thanks for listening to the Best Me podcast. If you would like to make a comment, suggest a podcast topic, or just say hi, send me an email at bestmepodcast@gmail.com. I hope you'll join me next week as I continue to talk about how to be the best me I can be. This episode was edited by Adam Boatwright. If you need any help with music, audio and video editing, or digital arts, be sure and check him out at adamboatwright.com. That's ADAMBOATRIGHT.com.